I gotta come with some energy. This is our doggone time. I don't care what they say. I don't care how they feel. I'm gonna always stand on principle. I'm gonna always stand up for what God has called me to do. I have a right to have an opinion. And my opinion is derived from the Bible. God has called all of us to be bold in him. He's called all of us to not be ashamed. This nation was founded by Judeo-Christian values, freedom, liberty. It's all on godly principles. What's up, AMFEST? Man, it's a lot of good people in this house tonight, or this morning, I'd say. But I want to say this to start it off with. I want to give a special thank you to a few guests that are here that mean a lot to me, my motivation, my encouragement to continue to do what I do, and it is my wife, my mama, and my two boys that are sitting right over here. Y'all show them some love. And aren't you guys glad that we freaking won? I couldn't imagine what this event would be like, but we don't have to wonder because we kicked their tail in this election. And I'm excited about it because we deserve the victory. I told you guys last year when I came here to speak, and I told you to be encouraged, I told you to continue to fight, and we're gonna make it happen, and we did just that. Conservative values are values that make America great. And if we continue to espouse those values, continue to believe in God, we'll continue to make this country the best that we can possibly make it. And Donald Trump, I have to give my hat off to a man that withstood an assassination attempt. They tried to put the man in prison. They tried to damage his character and reputation, but he stood strong and won this election. And these leftist nut jobs thought they were going to do it this time, using the media to lie, calling us Nazis. What a bunch of idiots. And I'm glad that they continue to say the stuff that they say. I want to give a shout out to The View. Them cackling hens make me so much money. They can't stop losing, but it's good to talk about it. And I'm glad that they're sticking to their guns because they'll never win another election acting the way that they're acting. I honestly believe that with organizations like Turning Point USA and all of you guys in the room, we're probably going to have 12 more years. And I don't know if J.D. Vance sees this, but at first I wasn't a big J.D. Vance fan. When Trump picked J.D. Vance, I heard all that stuff he said about Donald Trump, and I said, Trump, what are you doing? And then I saw J.D. Vance speak, and he get on television and he whooped them like they stole something. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm encouraged and excited. I don't wanna get too far ahead of myself, but I'm excited for a J.D. Vance presidency as well. And one thing that I often think about every time I speak, because everybody can talk to you about politics and get you all riled up, but one thing I want you to focus on is your relationship with God first. I'm not here to talk about anybody else or any other speaker or anything like that, but I know that there's a need for us to not forget where we came from. The reason that I'm here on this stage right now, the reason that I've been having as much success as I've had, it's not because I'm so handsome and good looking. I know some of y'all think that, I know my wife do at least. It's not because I'm just some great orator and all of that. It's because I put God first and I believed in God's plan for my life. And don't get me wrong, I love politics, but I love my relationship with God even more. And young people often think about this, because most of you guys in here are young college students. Most of you think about this: how do I accomplish my purpose? How do I get to where I want to be in life? And I already told you the first step is God, But the second step is you have to believe in yourself. Never let anybody tell you that you can't accomplish the dreams and goals that you put forth. And you have to be consistent with those things. And you will be who you want to be one day. Y'all can give that a round of applause. Another thing that I often think about, and I saw it on television yesterday, and I think it's embarrassing, is how they've changed their attention from Donald Trump to now Elon Musk. Isn't it amazing that they told us for the longest that Donald Trump was a threat to democracy, that he's going to ruin America, that he's going to crash the economy, that we should be afraid of him, he caused an insurrection, all of that stupid stuff that they said. And now that they realize that they could not stop him from becoming the president, they now have targeted the long game. Because Donald Trump has 4 more years, unfortunately. I almost wish he can do another 8. They robbed him of the first one. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I wish he can do 8. But they understand he only has 4 years. But Elon Musk, for whatever reason, that money can go a long way. And they're going to have to distract him and stop him and damage his character. But that should tell you everything you need to know about the left. When they can't beat you on merit, when they can't defeat you fair and square, they want to ruin your reputation. And I know a lot of you guys experienced that on campus. I've been to campus. I've seen how nutty some of these people are. And I'll never forget at the University of Washington. Who in here is from the University of Washington or go to that school? We got one over here, thank God. But I remember going to that campus and I could feel the vitriol off of these people. I had my MAGA hat on, I'm walking through the campus, and everybody looked at me like I was a 3-headed monster. They had never seen a black man that can think for himself. And to me, the hat doesn't just represent Donald Trump, it represents all of us. I remember when he got shot, and you know how crazy that was? It had to have been the grace of God that caused Donald Trump to turn his head at a 45-degree angle and miss that bullet whizzing by his ear. It had to have been God. There is no way whatsoever that all of those things could have happened that way and Trump came out victorious. But when I saw that, I didn't just think about Trump. Of course, I was glad he was okay. He got up like a boss with his fist in the air. But I thought about them trying to assassinate our dreams, our goals, assassinate what our founding fathers established in this country. They tried to assassinate all the men and women who lost their lives for us to be free. All of the civil rights activists who put in the work, put in the time, took the ridicule and punishment so that we can all sit in a room like this, shoulder and shoulder, believing in something, and not have to worry about somebody judging you on the color of your skin. They tried to assassinate our purpose, but God had another plan. I want to establish this point as well. When we look back at the Biden administration, which has been the worst administration on planet Earth, if you ask me, obviously they lost the election in a landslide. But I believe God had his hand in that as well, and let us not forget that. Do we think that God thought that Joe Biden was good enough to be the president? No. It was that God knew we need to wake up. He knew we needed to see what the true colors of the Democrat Party were. And we did. And we decided to vote the right direction this time. Let me speak to the young men real quick. I spoke about this the other day because I want you all to leave here with something other than just politics. The greatest accomplishment that a man will have in his life that's going to be the biggest determining factor in his success by and large is the person you marry. I'm going to let that ruminate for a minute. Same with women, but I'm going to talk to the young boys for now, young men. The person you marry will help you become what God has called you to be, or the person can tear you down. I know you guys seen this little situation going on with Travis Hunter. Do not, by any means, have a woman in your life that's not looking out for your best interests. Young women, I want you to think the same thing when you are looking for someone that you plan on marrying. Make sure it's a young man with integrity. Make sure that you go through life and find your purpose. The problem with these situations, and young people experience this all the time, and the reason I talk about this because when I was your age, a lot of what I was thinking about was being in a relationship and being married and all of that. It consumed a lot of the things that I thought about. But I want to give you guys some guidance to do it the right way. You should be purpose-driven first. Find out who you are. Find out what you like, what your interests are, so you can better navigate the person that you will have in your life. If you go on a date, young women, and that brother asks you to split the bill, I almost told you to call the police, but you can't call the police. They ain't gonna do nothing for you. It should be a crime for you to take a woman on a date and you can't pay. And young men, listen to me very clearly, because it's not a knock on your finances. But if you take a young lady on a date and you can't pay, that means you ain't ready yet. I'm trying to look in the crowd. Y'all brothers better be clapping too. I'm trying to school you on some stuff. Because what women deserve and what they look for is protection and stability. If you cannot offer that to a young lady, she should not be with you and should not marry you. Young women, be the light in your husband's life. That give him life, inspire him to be great. Don't be nagging and dragging him down and complaining at a Heisman Trophy award ceremony at a meet and greet. Don't be that person. I got somebody that loves me right over there. Don't worry about it. But those things are the concepts and the reality that's going to make us greater. The attack on the family is what their obligation is to try to stop us from accomplishing what we want to accomplish as the American people. We have to build the nuclear family, and we have to build it strong. And how I know that the concept is true is because God has already ordained that. That's how they get us. They attack the family first. They divide the husband and wife. Then they divide the kids out. You take them to the university, indoctrinate them, and they wake up hating their parents. They wake up hating America. They wake up hating freedom. And then we have a fallen society. Then they want to trick us to give away our rights for the sake of weaponized empathy, for them to have complete control. And we will not have that. I want you all to be inspired to step up and continue to move forward in a way in which you've never done before. Last year, I told you we will win if you do the things that I'd asked you to do, and we did that. But it's not enough to win one game. We have to be focused on the future. We have the message that should allow us to win forever in America. I liken our experience to a playoff game. I know some of y'all can't wait to go look at the NCAA playoffs. I was looking at it back there. It looked like SMU ain't doing a good job, all right? But anyway, hope none of y'all go to SMU. But it's like the first round of the playoffs. You go, you prepare, you win, you celebrate. And what we did after a game when I played college football is that night we celebrated. And the next morning, you got to wake up and get the business. You got to wake up and watch film. You got to wake up and prepare because you have another victory ahead of you that you have to perform for. We just won the election. Have a good time at AMFEST. Enjoy yourself. Don't do nothing crazy and go to jail out here, especially if you don't live out here, all right? But have a good time. Enjoy the victory. Meet new people. Build friendships and relationships. But when you leave here, you better leave here changed. Leave here with a fire in your belly to be a greater person, to be a greater American, to be greater for your community, to be a great son, great daughter, great husband, great wife. You should leave here better. You should leave here more inspired. You should leave here with the mission that we're going to whoop them every single time we go to the ballot, whether it's local, whether it's federal, in every aspect of your life, you have to be a winner. And it starts with you understanding that God has a purpose for you. And you don't have to build off of somebody else's path and get discouraged or encouraged. That's not up to you to do. You have to understand that God has identified you, know you by name before you were born, gave you a DNA strand that's unique to you, fingerprints that nobody else have. He know you as an individual, and he has called you to do something special. And you know what that is, and you have to activate. Enough of the talking, enough of the wishful thinking. It's time to activate. And I have the encouragement after meeting with many of you guys at the meet and greet at my booth. I've seen you show up. Y'all flown from all around the country. I'm inspired, and I know we're going to do this again. Are y'all with me? I want us to have that winning mentality. I told them I'll open it up for Q&A. I thought Carrie Lake, that was pretty cool what she did. So I want to just finish with this. Remember your purpose. Remember the plan that God has for you. If you want to ask a question, come to the question area, and you'll see the people with the lights on them with the microphone. I'll answer as many questions as I can in a short period of time. But God bless you guys. God bless America. And let's continue to fight the good fight.
Hi, I know you're a big college football guy. Was Ashton Genty robbed of the Heisman?
Uh-oh, I could barely hear you. You said, was Ashton Genty robbed of the Heisman?
Yep.
I do not think Ashton Genty was robbed of the Heisman, okay? Let me just tell you why real quick. You don't have to agree with me, all right? It's America. Let me just, he says a stolen election. Let me tell you why I think so. Real quick, Ashton Genty was a tremendous player. The unfortunate part about Ashton Genty's experience there at Boise State, they didn't have the opportunity to play against a lot of competition. And so his stats and him running for all those yards didn't look as good to the people who were voting for the Heisman. However, Travis Hunter did something that no other player has ever done, and I don't think ever could do. For you to play every snap on offense, defense, and dominate on both sides of the ball on Colorado's team, which is not a very impressive team, I think that he deserved to have that victory. That's just my opinion. Don't kill me over it. Next person.
Thank you. Hey, Brandon. So I basically, from New Jersey, and from, so we won over in New Jersey. We got, so 2020, President Biden, he won 15% of the vote in New Jersey. This year, the Democrats won less than half of that. So we're making great strides in New Jersey, and I just want to say I went to thousands of houses, and we also have early voting. So we did a week in advance. You can pretty much vote. Awesome. I just want to know your opinion on that. Do you think more states should have like early voting?
Well, yeah, I think they should. I mean, I would love for every state to go to just on election day only, but there's too many complications. We saw it in Arizona. On election day, somehow the machines ain't working. We can't have that. We need to have every opportunity for people to be able to go out and participate in the election. There's some people that's they're too much of procrastinators to have only one day. I'm one of them. I'd mess around and miss the whole thing and forget about it. So we want to have more access for people to be able to have chances to communicate with their family members and get them encouraged to go out and give them a span of time. I look at election and voting opportunities like I do with donations. If you tell a person you can only bring a check into the facility on one day, you're not going to get as many people participating as if you give them the option to do it online. You give them the option to do it a little bit early. I'm not saying you got to vote online, but you guys get what I'm saying. You need to produce a lot more opportunity so people can participate freely. Okay, next question.
Hi, my name is Abigail Vallandingham. I'm from Kentucky, and I was wondering what kind of advice do you have for married couples, and also how would you combat violent threats on campuses due to politics if you were a disabled person and when there's no campus carry?
Okay, I missed the first part of that question.
What kind of advice do you have for married couples?
Married couples?
Yes.
Oh, well, I got it. How much time you got? No, realistically, I think that when you decide to get married, it is a commitment for life. Congratulations. It doesn't matter how you feel. Sometimes you're going to be upset. My wife probably upset with me half of the time. Too bad, because we married, right? But you also have to do this. Let me say this, I think it's important, all jokes aside. As a husband, your entire mission and goal is to say, how do I serve my wife? That's my whole goal in life. And wives, how do I serve my husband? If two people are spending all of their time, effort, and energy not being selfish in what you're gonna do for me, but if you think, what can I do for my spouse? Both people doing that back and forth, that's gonna be a long marriage. Don't be selfish, and you will have a long-lasting marriage. What were you saying? One more?
This will be the last question.
Okay, perfect.
Hello, Officer Tatum. It was a pleasure to see you. I actually had one question regarding about dating and marriage. So I actually also live in Washington State, and it's a prime example over there. And I also wanted to apologize that you had to suffer so much animosity over at UW. But that's actually pretty much like the cause of Washington State, because they don't have the best people. But about dating, don't you think, like in 2024, I personally think in a few ways that it's not a bad idea for the woman to go approach the man rather than the man to go approach the woman. What do you think about that? Because with so much fake cases and whatnot, and with the degradation of respect to a man, I think I would like to hear your thoughts on that. I apologize to ask that, but thank you.
Thank you for that. Hey, women, what do you think about approaching a man versus a man approaching a woman? I think you got your answer. But I know why a man would feel that way, because sometimes it's very difficult to be rejected. So women, y'all also have to be friendly enough, right? You can't walk around with a resting face, if you know what I'm talking about. Unapproachable. I don't like him because he's not 6'2". Don't be that person. Be open-minded to date. Because I'm going to keep it real with y'all. Me and the wife talk about this all the time. If you worried about height, you finna be single for a long time. Because there's like 1% of guys who are 6'2", and you think they got to make money too? Y'all want unicorns out here. Give a man a grace. They trying, okay? Women, they trying. They need y'all, all right? They need y'all to get the hygiene right. They need y'all to boost them up. My wife, when we first got married, I think I was aight with the fashion and stuff. She didn't want me to wear those holy jeans last time, so that wasn't her. Don't blame her, it was me. But my wife bossed me up. I didn't know how to dress. I didn't know what kind of stuff to have, but I had a good wife that elevated me a little bit. So women, if you see a man with some good potential, give him a little booster. Elevate him up. He'll be the man you want him to be, all right? God bless you guys. I wish I had more time. Keep fighting the good fight. Enjoy your time here at AMFEST.